actually this topic makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable, but particularly in our Polynesian community. It's like you never want to be the chick that the dress is wearing. But we gather, so we're allowed to gather guys. Hello and welcome to Teuila Talks, where me, Teuila, talks, and so do you. We're looking at everything from a Polynesian view. We're going out to the streets and we're also talking to some famous peeps. Now today's topic is Polynesian tattoos, because of course Polynesian tattooing is everywhere. But how do we feel about non-Polynesians having Polynesian tattoos? Let's have a look at what they think on the street. What do you think about non-Polynesians having Polynesian tattoos?
I don't have a problem with it, as long as they knew the meaning behind it and what it means to have one.
Yeah, I think they should only get it if they are of that Pacific race.
I think you really would need some sort of proficiency, articulation in the Polynesian culture to be able to appreciate the history of Polynesian tattoos.
I think it's a cool thing. You know, it's getting our, I'd say, brand out there, getting our vibe out there. So I think it's really cool that people are taking it on board and looking at Pacifica as a style, I guess. You know, and sort of trying to carry on that style. But then hopefully they get the meaning behind what our tattoos mean, what our style is, what our food is, and stuff like that. So I think it's really cool.
Interesting. Now, Oscar, I noticed that you've got a few tattoos there. Polynesian tattooing to you, what does it mean to you? Why have you done this to your body?
Well, to me, tattoos... Well, I got really weird ones. I mean,
Did you ask the wolf pick?
Exactly. See, I've got a wolf, and I get really self-conscious when I'm at a party and there's a wolf there, and I go, "Oh, shame, there's a wolf." What are they going to think about me having a wolf tattoo on my arm? So, no, I think it's fine. Actually, I think those days are gone. And actually, I'm actually Italian, but I've got Samoa very proudly tattooed on my
I noticed
shoulder.
you've actually got the Vainima label.
Picture. Yes.
Yeah.
I was drunk when I got that one.
Really?
It was a carton label. That's the Vailima picture in the middle.
Oh, nice. I remember when me and Os were doing a show, we were doing a tattoo play with a very famous tattooist who's passed away now. And he said, we asked him what he thought about people doing his designs and stuff, and he said he was all cool with it because originally Samoa got it from Fiji, and where did Fiji come from? So no one really, according to him, no one really owned it.
We should be very proud of our tattoos. Tattoo is one of the few words that Polynesians have actually contributed to the English language.
It of course comes from our word, tatau.
Tatau, yes. Miliwaki, or the Algonquin people.
What about you, Nate? You got tats?
Yeah, I got a Kolima. It's not the best looking one. That's it.
No, I'm just joking.
I know.
No, you go, babe. Proud of it.
I actually prefer if it stays within the race. I prefer if it just stays with Samoans, because I was always taught the way if you can't speak what you're supposed to talk about, then shouldn't get the tattoo. So I don't know how you said it in English, but so if you don't understand what you're talking about as far as what's on your body, then don't get it.
Rihanna, she just got a malu on her hand.
Yeah, but that wasn't, come on, sorry, Rihanna. It wasn't even, I think it was an attempt at a malu. That was
Lady Six has got a beautiful
ladies one is
and
stunning.
hers is like a family thing because her mum got the first one and Suluapi gave that to her mother.
Absolutely.
So all the sisters, and it's beautiful.
And it's stunning.
Yeah.
But you look at ladies and it's like, that is a malu. One of the things I love about being Samoan and Polynesians in general is that we have our specific designs. Samoan designs from Tongan designs from Fijians, from it's a nice connection to what our cultures are specifically. And I love that it has actually evolved now that we've come to New Zealand from the traditional. Now we've got the sleeves and everything, and it is evolving.
Which is interesting because, this tradition of armbands, which have now become traditionally associated with the Polynesians, actually came from American Peace Corps workers in the 60s. They saw the full body tattoos. They weren't going to go that far, so they went, how about just a small armband? So they were the first ones, and then the locals adopted them, and they've now since become part of what it is to be a Polynesian. So even this tradition came from somewhere else. So I don't know how we can. That's the thing about art. It spreads. It lives on.
It does.
And I
So
don't know
my
how we
grandmother in Nauer, she raised me and stuff, and she had tattoos, and she had sailor tattoos. She had like anchors, and you know.
Would
I
the
loved
sailors
that.
get upset? Or was she a sailor as well?
I think she was a sailor too.
Okay, so it
Right then,
was
that's
pertinent to her personal
But,
story.
But then to me, that's that was culture.
Yeah.
To me, that was my culture. That was I don't know where she got it from, but because she was my grandmother, I adopted that as my culture. So I went and got an 8-ball because that's my tradition.
They're very traditional in their way of game of
Culture.
pool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Not
cool.
because I really love the Stasi logo.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But going back to the that tattoos have evolved, and certainly a lot of non-Polynesians have versions of it, absolutely. But say something like the pea.
Yeah.
That to me is a huge rite of passage.
Yeah.
I think it's a great honour to wear it. Would you say that a non-Samoan would necessarily have the same kind of connection to that if they have a full pea?
I would have said that before, but like she mentioned before, we did this play with this great man, and he was a very brave artist because he dared to push the art of Tatau beyond he took it out of the garage in Otara and put it out into the world, and a lot of young people who were nervous about getting them because they couldn't speak Samoan, because they adhered to what Nate said before about tattoo your mouth before you tattoo your body. And he actually made me change my opinion. He tattooed a Māori guy with a beta who was in the Pacific community. He's tattooed a white guy. And just seeing them with it at first, I was like, I don't know if I agree with that. But actually, I've actually changed my opinion now. And he was a pretty great man. And so I listened to him on that.
Okay, another interesting point about Polynesian tattooing is the malu. What are your thoughts about the women who have the malu, like the young girls, because there are a lot of young ladies here now in New Zealand. Now, they wear short shorts and they show them, whereas in Samoa, I know that that's frowned upon a lot by the majority of people. What do you think about that? Do you think that if you wear a malu, is it your right in New Zealand to dress up? Yep, to show it off. What do you think?
I think getting a malu is almost like tattooing your heart, so you know that it's there and that you show it at the appropriate times. But then obviously on the flip side, this world is moving in such, so quickly that people are willing to put their culture out there, which I don't frown upon either. It's obviously up to the individual person, but I don't think I'd ever get a malu. I think I'd get definitely flourishes of a malu.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd get the
actual...
Just because I know myself, I'm like, I'd want to know that I've got my lingo down pat, that I'd be able to, do all of those things that a Matai's daughter needs to do, with the whole protocol side of things.
That's the big difference between Baalangis and Islanders with tattoos. I think tattoos for they're not just decoration.
Yeah.
They carry your family line, your family blood, your family whole backstory, or for that. And I think that's why PIs get precious about it. These designs on people who don't know what they're carrying.
Something interesting though about that, just going back to the malu very quickly, because someone also told me in Samoa that the covering up of the malu actually came from missionaries when they outlawed tattooing and they made them cover them up. So then I was like, well, can we get to the bottom of this?
Can you imagine what we'd look like now if we did kara here and we were showing our boobs around, I'd be like...
Now I got it in my head.
We'd be so happy. We'd be so happy.
We'd be the Messiah.
We'd be happy.
There'll be no eye contact in the segment.
Yeah, we'd be happy.
It'd be really good for tourism.
I think it's important that people who wear Polynesian tattoos should know some kind of meaning. Like with what happened with Nike this year was incredibly controversial. Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous.
Because then that's when
Highly inappropriate.
Well, exactly. So they took the traditional male Samoan designs and put them on a woman's range. Now that's where I think it's like Polynesian
It's
tattooing
intellectual
cannot,
property.
but it cannot become a trend. Do you
No.
know? And I think that's what makes people nervous. Is like,
Yeah, I
is
think
it
one
a
of the guys
trend?
in here mentioned, it's
For
great to get
brand.
our brand out, and it's like we're not a company.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just important for people to know what they're wearing, and it's a great way for us to be able to show how proud we are of our
But you
cultures.
look at those traditional marks of culture, like tartan. I'm sure that used to mean something. Oh, that red square. And the other red square is about when my auntie came from the islands.
It was like clans. It was their
They used to put up with
culture.
everyone in the world wearing them.
Right, yeah.
And they share their designs.
Punks, got into tartan in a big way,
I got mates that are just getting bitters for the sake of getting bitter, so they look good at the gym or they look good at the beach. Same with girls. I mean, they're proud islanders, but they don't understand what it's about, but it just looks good.
Do you think there's a responsibility to the individual
Yes.
to search deeper if they're going to wear those symbols?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're wearing that and you're in Samoa and you're whalefongo and someone goes, can you stand up and do wharuping?
I know, man.
No, not really.
I mean, I've been looking at designs for a very long time because I don't want them to just mean Jack. I want them to mean something to me, and then it's a story. I can just go, that's why that's there,
Absolutely.
Do you have tattoos?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, my, yeah.
Time to wrap up. Are we wrapping up now?
Yeah.
I was really getting
Yeah.
into this conversation.
On that note, let's just wrap that up. Hey, it's a very special tattoo, a very special place, very special. Okay, so that's what's up with that. Hey, we'll be back next week for more Teuila Talks with this same panel. We'll see you then.